Thanks for tuning into our podcast, Getting Down to Business. I'm Jill Brown, Academic and Career Advisor with the Muma College of Business. And today is a special episode. We have an announcement. My co-host here, Ashley Curtis, has a promotion. I'm probably going to get it wrong. It's a mouthful of me. Assistant Program Director of USF's new Bishop Center for Ethical Leadership.
Yeah, not new, but yes, I'm really excited for the opportunity. I'll be the Assistant Program Director for the Bishop Center for Ethical Leadership. So we'll be sure to keep you posted as this podcast focuses on leadership and interning and networking skills.
And we don't want to leave our guests hanging with this celebratory mood we have going, so we'll let you introduce. These are two of our representatives from the Veterans Office, and I'll just let you do your spiel.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm Todd Post. I'm the Assistant Director for the Office of Veteran Success here. I was in the Army for 8 years, been all over the world, some pretty cool places, some pretty not cool places. I did get my degree from here, USF St. Pete.
Nice.
And I am responsible for taking care of all of our military-connected students here and gearing programming and services that fits their needs here on campus.
Fantastic. Yay.
And I'm Zachary Fitzgerald. I am currently the Student Employment Coordinator for the Career Services Office here on campus, as well as the co-chair of the Veterans Alumni Society for USF. I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, went to a lot of fun places and a lot of not so fun places as well. We're excited to talk a little bit more about how we assist our students and our alumni.
Awesome. Well, we are both very excited to have you here with us today. But before we get down to business, we have a couple of questions that we like to ask our guests before, just for our audience to get to know you better. So
super important. This one.
Yep.
It's a big one.
Super important. So just one question for you both. Todd, I'll start with you. Okay. Would you rather be confronted by a shark or a bear?
Shark. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Bears are pretty scary.
Just got to take on the shark. You
got
it. You're ready.
On, like bop it on the nose.
Right, the head, the snout.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that is what they say to do.
Yeah.
You know, bear, I mean, there's a lot of other factors that come into play. So, yeah, I'm going shark.
Love it. Thanks.
Yeah.
How about you, Zach?
I think I would have to go bear.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm not the best swimmer, and I like a challenge.
Okay.
Even if it's not going to end well.
Well, there you have it. Shark and bear.
All right, guys. Thank you for playing. And now we really do want to get down to business and talk about the Office of Veteran Success. And on the website, it says we've got your 6. So we kind of want to jump in and break that down for our listeners to find out how you do support our veterans and military families.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Okay.
So got your 6. That's a military saying, you know, kind of just means I got your back. I got you covered. On campus here, we provide wraparound services for military-connected students. So we provide them academic support, career readiness support, and overall wellness support. So as soon as they get to the university, I like to tell them that this office is your one-stop shop for anything that you may need. And whatever the issue is, we can solve it right there in the office.
Excellent.
Great.
I was going to ask Zach, you got anything that you want to add anything?
So I can talk about that from the career services side. We do a lot of work and partnerships across campus. So if Todd has a student or anyone else has a veteran student, we collaborate across campus to make sure that we get everyone to the right place. So that's part of it, is making sure that everyone knows where the resources are so we can best help our students.
And I think we're going to pick that up a little later too. So
Perfect.
Thanks for bringing it up now.
So you both are co-chairs for the Veteran Alumni Society. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Veteran Alumni Society as well as the Student Veteran Organization?
So I can start off with the Veterans Alumni Society. So the last couple of years, Todd and I, along with some other folks, have really spent some time trying to build up the organization, start building those partnerships, because we aim to help bridge that transition from the student veterans or military-connected students into the alumni community. So trying to make those connections and provide those opportunities, as well as highlighting our successful alumni from the past. So trying to connect current students with former students while showing the possibilities and highlighting the good things that our student veterans and veteran alumni have done.
Todd, you want to add anything to that?
I think Zach nailed it for the Alumni Society. I could talk about the Student Veteran Organization. I'm the faculty advisor for that group. So that's our club on campus. Mm-hmm. The name's a little misleading. So it's not just for veterans. It's for all students. Fun fact, the majority of our students are not veterans. They're dependents.
Okay.
So the president of our club right now, he's actually dependent. And we're seeing a lot more engagement from dependents and just folks that aren't veterans, coming to the office, getting involved with our club and our activities that we're doing. And the club is great because it's an opportunity for students to get involved on campus, become leaders, get involved in the community service aspect. So a lot of cool things happen in there.
And as we talked about at the beginning, leadership is one of the tenets that we stress. I mean, that's something in the military as well, and opportunity for students to get involved like this on campus, but then have something to build on their resume. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to kind of ask if there are other additional initiatives or services that you might want to go into that the organization offers, the office itself.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I do want to mention is a really great program that we have. It's called the VA Work Study Program. Okay. So students that are utilizing GI Bill benefits and are at least 3/4 time are eligible for this program. So it's not federal work study. So they're working through the VA. They're contracted through the VA to work in our office. And what we find is that the students that do use the program, they just do better because they're here. And part of the program is developing them professionally. So making it very intentional to every semester you're going to update your resume. Mm-hmm. We want to see the leadership develop. Every month we're bringing in people to speak to them and develop them professionally and just give them the skills that they need. So when they're ready to leave here, they're ready to leave here.
Updating resume all the time. We tell them it's a fluid document and you need to constantly build and refine. So it's a nice that you set that precedent from the start.
Yeah, and I'd like to add about the VA work studies a little bit. So as a graduate from this campus in 2017, I was a VA work study as a student, and it completely changed my kind of progression trajectory. Started out as a C student, got involved on campus, started working. By the final semester, straight A's, just having that involvement and the opportunity that program allowed really made my time here on campus a whole lot better. And made me a more successful student. So if you are eligible, definitely try to take advantage of it.
Okay. Yeah. So you've just talked a little bit about the VA work study. Obviously, we know there's a variety of benefits and aid available for our veteran and military students. Would you mind, Todd, sharing a little bit more about what some of those benefits are and what's available for our students?
Yeah. So the primary benefit that we see students using is the GI Bill. I'm sure that you've heard of that. So they earn the GI Bill through their service. They have to meet a certain amount of days and in service, active duty, and then they qualify for the GI Bill. So the majority of our students using post 9/11 GI Bill, and then our dependents are using something called Chapter 35 Dependents Educational Assistance. That means that their sponsor, so there could be their spouse or what have you.
Parents.
Parents. Is 100% service connected, 100% disabled with the VA. So now they're eligible for this great benefit. And then the students that utilize that benefit are also eligible for something called the CSDDV scholarship, the Children and Spouses of Deceased or Disabled Veterans Scholarship. So that scholarship will cover the tuition while the student receives that stipend. Post 9/11 GI Bill, they're going to pay your tuition and pay you the housing stipend. So some really great benefits available to military-connected students.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks. And they have to do a VA Works application. You have to do it every semester. Make sure you do that.
That's where I was going to go. Like, are there some steps that a student, because as an advisor, I know working with students, sometimes, especially transfers, you're moving institutions and you've got to reestablish or set up or connect, whatever it needs to be. So you were just jumping into the form. Yeah. So how can students expedite or make sure that they have their money when they need it or the funds?
Yep. So for students, make sure you're paying attention to your email. VA Works, if you're in the system, you'll get an email when VA Works is going to open. Okay. VA Works is our application with the school, so we can certify your benefits with the VA. The first step on the student part is registering for classes. Then they have to get their certificate of eligibility from the VA that says you're eligible for this benefit. Then they come to our office, they meet with us, we sit down, we do your VA Works application with you and make sure that everything's good to go. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you're going to get your benefits. And, some students wait, till last minute and then they're like, oh, why am I not getting paid?
Okay. Well, so too, if they're not sure where to start or what to do, they can always come to the office, right? And then you'll help guide them. What were you going to say, Zach? Anything?
I was going to say the best way to get things done in a timely manner is to do it early. Yeah. It's a government organization. It takes time. Whether it's education benefits, especially health benefits, the sooner you do it, the sooner you get paid. And I've been on both ends of it. Don't wait, because they will not speed up the process for you.
No.
Just keep that in mind. Just do it.
Right. Early registration is important piece of that. So I have to plug that for advising, and that'll be coming up for the spring term. So we want to make sure students do not go on holiday break and make sure they're registered, and then definitely make sure those forms are on file or updated.
Next question for you all is for folks who are probably less familiar with processes for military students and veterans. What are maybe some either misconceptions that you commonly come across that you want to kind of share here on the show?
Or even about the office, about the organizations, programs, anything. Because we are here to dispel the myths and misconceptions today.
So you started off talking about Got Your Six.
Yeah.
So we offer training called the Got Your Six Military Cultural Competency Training. It's for students, faculty, and staff. Oh. And it's to dispel the myths that you're talking about. And we're all human. So, we have, these biases and, we may not even know it, but, just from what we see on TV or what have you, we think certain things. And, sometimes there are certain stereotypes that folks might think that veterans play into, that they're broken or that they suffer from mental illness or that they're, far right-wing extremists or all this other stuff. And, it's just not true, and sometimes folks look at our veterans from a deficit mindset, and we need to be looking at them and saying, what is the value that this individual brings, with their life experience and their worldly experience that they're coming to the university with.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially in classes. So taking advantage of the fact that most student veterans are not 18, 19, 20 years old. They've potentially been around the world. They've seen some of the things out there.
The not so good.
The not so good.
Okay, anyway, sorry, bring that
the
back.
really good. And even when I was a student, the professors that gave the space for those conversations and those with those experiences to openly talk in class, to kind of facilitate a broader discussion, those are the better conversations and the classes I think we were able to get more out of, to kind of be open. That's one of the great things I like about USF and the St. Petersburg campus is, as a student, I never had any of those issues about being open or talking in class. And it really facilitated a lot of good stuff. We have a really good culture and community here.
That we talked about it earlier. You mentioned it, Zach, when you were talking about opportunities, but the training you mentioned, that was our question, is how can faculty and staff assist military and veteran students? So I don't know if there's anything else to even think about, or so there's the training, and how do we sign up, or what does that look like?
So it will be live by the end of fall. We actually are revamping it, making it a little more user-friendly, adding a Canvas portion to it and an in-person portion to it, just so we can cover everything, because there's a lot there. Because the military really is a culture of its own, and it could take, a long time to unpack that. So, but yeah, it will be available probably by the end of fall. So probably spring, it should be available to be delivered to students, faculty, and staff.
Fantastic. All right.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you both for being on the set today. Before we leave you, what is the best way that students looking to learn more about the office can get in touch with you or the resources available?
Just come in. just come into the office. My name's Todd. My email is, post2@usf.edu. Shoot me an email. Come into the office anytime. Come hang out. Come see what's going on in there. Come talk to the students, and when we sit down and talk, we realize that we got a lot more in common than we think.
And where on campus? Just help students find you,
Yeah.
because sometimes I know it's kind of tucked in. I've been on that terrace and I was wandering around. I was like, it's back. Okay.
So we're in the terrace. We're right across from the airport, Terrace 301, the Military Families and Veterans Success Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we were also wanting to maybe leave students, this is a little new piece of our program, but leave students with a resource. So I don't know if you have any books or articles or anything that you've come across recently that you thought, wow, if I could just help students kind of find this, or veterans find this resource, something really useful.
So I've been having a lot of success recently just utilizing LinkedIn and joining groups.
Okay.
So I've got the groups that I follow local to the St. Pete, Tampa Bay area, as well as the state of Florida out to the national level. If you are a veteran or want to get involved in that community, especially on the career development and professional development side, there are a lot of organizations that you can just kind of click follow and just passively gain a lot of information about jobs that are out there, resumes. I'm in groups where people just post their resumes and everyone else kind of critiques it. So if you're worried about coming in, I definitely would come see me. But kind of to help make that a little bit easier, you just passively follow a lot. And there's some really good groups out there.
I love that you said that, because we talk about LinkedIn all the time with our students. And so we didn't pay you to plug it, but
No.
I feel like students listening should be aware, like the dual role that you play. This is so valuable because you, as a career professional, are able to help them with their resumes and help set up a LinkedIn profile and then keep making those adjustments, but also ways to fill in gaps and making the transition from military culture into the business world, maybe, or if it's a biological or environmental, whatever their degree or program might lead to. So
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things that we also in the Alumni Society are trying to build, that group database, Rolodex of our successful alumni, so that we can connect. Maybe a student who comes in is like, I'm not sure about getting into business, or I want to get into project management. Like, we know tons of people from the project management side to try to help facilitate those connections. Maybe it's just an informational interview. Like, I'm interested in doing this, but I'm not sure. We want to have that group of specifically USF alumni, veteran alumni who have done it, who have been in that position, to be like, hey, go talk to this person. We want to make sure that opportunity is there first.
Yeah. And doing the exploration early is so important.
Yep.
And that way, if you need to pivot a little bit with that program, but having the resources and that alumni connection, those networks, that's amazing. So, all right. What were you going to?
I was just going to ask, I know we've had questions that we've asked for you, but is there anything that you wanted to leave our students with before we call it a day?
Yeah. Yeah. Come into the office. Utilize your faculty and staff here. I'll share just a quick victory. Zach and I, we work together all the time. Whether it be with the Alumni Society or just in general, he's bringing me students, I'm bringing him students. Just recently, we helped a student that just graduated get her dream job, and that's what it's all about. I mean, that felt great. I mean, we worked with her for a couple of weeks on her resume and her interview skills. And, if there's something that you're interested in, use the office as a resource, because, we can connect you to jobs, internships, undergraduate research, whatever it is. So just use your resources that you have on campus.
Yeah, definitely. And that honestly made my weekend the other week. But even in that process, the position that she was trying to get into, one of my former Marines was in that position, and he was a USF alumni. So I just reached out to him. I was like, hey, would you like to talk to this person? She's looking at getting this position, is really interested. Do you have a couple of minutes to talk to her about that process? She has a couple of questions about the position. And he was like, yeah, of course. So don't be afraid to reach out to us and ask. People are always usually willing to be open about their experiences.
And wow, that just alleviates some of that stress and anxiety for that student. And then, as you said, this became a success story. So I love ending on that note. I'm so glad you shared. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you again, both of you, for being here today. It's been really a pleasure to have you both. So thank you. Special shout out to our friends at Innovative Ed for making this episode possible. And keep tuning in to Getting Down to Business. We'll see you soon.